Hello everyone, my name is Lavrisa, and I will be providing evidence as to why my research question of do professional athletes have a voice about racism should be performed. Today I will be analyzing 3 articles that closely relate to my research question. I will be discussing the article by Blaine Branchik, where he discusses the evolution of black models in magazines over the past 60 years. I will also be looking at Catherine Lavelle's article discussing mental health in the NBA, specifically the first player to discuss his mental health, Kevin Love, as well as Stacey Loren's article about the stereotypes of black NBA and NHL players. I will provide an explanation of the gaps in their studies and provide an overall summary of the articles. By the end, I hope everyone has a good understanding, but if not, I'm happy to answer any questions. In Blaine Blanchard's article titled From Servants to Spokesmen, he discusses the evolution of black models in magazines throughout the past 60 years. Researchers ran a content analysis and looked at all the major fashion magazines from each year beginning in the 1960s. It was found that for 30 years, the magazines were solely white models, and there were not even inspirations of black culture in the fashion. Although, around the 1990s, this changed. The researchers started to notice more and more black models in the magazines. After the content analysis was completed, it was discovered that since the 1990s to current date, there has been a spike in black models. This became very obvious to the researchers to the point where they noticed that some magazines were solely black models. This discovery is encouraging if we are viewing the discrimination of black people in fashion. However, despite the spike in black models, this gives no indication that the world cares about the opinions of these celebrities and yet would rather them just look pretty than discuss political issues. Catherine Lavelle's article titled The Face of Mental Health, Kevin Love, and Hegemonic Masculinity in the NBA discusses hegemonic masculinity, which is the stereotype that all men are strong, tough, and aren't sensitive. This highlights the stereotype of men not being able to have mental health issues and dismisses men's feelings towards any given situation. The stereotype has inserted a fear that if you discuss your feelings as a male, you are weak. In the sport culture, weakness is not respected, which leads to the silence. The opening up from an athlete with a status such as Kevin Love is a big step and should be admired. Although it seems as easy as just telling players to speak their minds and they will be listened to, because it's not. It is false. And in 2018, LeBron James discussed the issues of racism in America and addressed that there should be more discussion around the subject. The comment was completely shut down by the media, and one Fox reporter stated, "This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to play in the NBA. Keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble." For one of the biggest stars in sports to come out and discuss a social issue is very important and impactful for young viewers. However, this disrespect he was shown was ridiculous and further proves the point that these athletes are not given a chance to speak about political issues. In Stacey Loren's Goodbye to the Gangstas, she discusses the stereotypes and images placed on black athletes in the NBA and NHL versus white athletes. The article states the different cultures in the two leagues. In the NHL, the game is much tougher and requires a lot of physical punishment. Despite the game, the players are well-spoken and respected. However, in the NBA, the league is majority black athletes, and the game is entertaining. However, there is not much discussion on how they speak or interact. Therefore, giving NBA athletes an image of not being well-spoken or communicate their thoughts well. This stereotype is no better in the NHL. Players in the NHL were considered good, hard-working players. However, due to an incident with a black goalie in 2005, the image has completely changed. Black NHL athletes are now considered gangsters, in the sense that they are violent and have bad intentions. The article also highlights that the majority of the NHL are white athletes, giving the few black players a chance to be anything more than tough. This closely relates to a research done that found that the way black athletes are written about versus how they interact are completely unfair and depict these athletes in the wrong way. In Blaine Branchik's article, he fails to discuss the impact of black culture in media, not just in magazines, but in overall media. He does not explain their role in society, whether they have a vocal role or if they're just there to be models. He also fails to explain whether the addition of black models is for advertising purposes or for moral reasons. Dr. Novell fails to mention other related social issues other than mental health. She also does not discuss other contributions to poor mental health other than depression and anxiety. She further has no data on players who suffer from mental health in either the NHL or NBA. In Stacey Loren's article, she highlights the NHL players more than she does in the NBA. She does not expand as to why NBA players are less listened to than NHL players. She also does not explain any changes since the 2005 incident for either league. Overall, these articles highlight the stereotypes and images placed on black athletes and social figures. It also highlights the importance of discussing issues despite their fame, discusses the disadvantage of black athletes and figures, the impacts of the media on these athletes. The articles fail to mention the importance of black culture in today's society. They also fail to provide data for mental health in any of the leagues, in any professional league, and as well does not provide information on black athletes' impact on social issues. Thank you for everyone who listened, and if there are any questions, the table's open.